But let's hit
Orange Islands.
Orange Islands first, which
Oh God.
I don't. I'll be real with you. I don't know how many real positives there are for Orange Islands.
I have a couple of things I want to say
Yeah,
about Orange Islands.
positives.
Then
Yeah,
Kevin.
there's some positives.
Yeah, there's a couple of positives in this.
There's a
series.
no. It's not that there isn't a couple positives, but there's three people here. Kevin, if you mention yours, I bet you'll mention almost all of them. If not, you might miss one. That's about it. But go
Okay.
for it, Go for it, Kevin.
Okay, so my favorite thing about Orange Islands, let's be clear with this one. I love the originality in this series. This is the series that sticks out the most to me when we're talking about OS because it's so original. There's nothing that you can connect to it from the games in this generation. And I appreciate it for it. The themes that they had going for it with like going from island to island, meeting new Pokemon, meeting new gimmicks, Ash getting a Lapras and having that be a ongoing plot element to get to the finale. Like there were many key elements in this series that I felt was the step in the right direction that I criticized about in the previous season. There was a lot more battles this time around, and there was actually a nice balance of battling and also working with Pokemon, which is something that I think the anime realized in the Orange Islands, where it's like, oh, we have Pokemon. We can theoretically play by the rules and follow tradition of the games, but we also have the liberty of using the Pokemon as wild creatures and have them play roles in the series that don't always have to tie to battles. Like I remember the battle where they had to make like the ice ski or slide or whatever it was, the canoe. And I love that all the Pokemon had to be involved in some way, shape, or form. I loved how Lapras was the one behind taking care of making it as an ice object. I love that Charizard, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur were the ones taking care of it to crafting the said item. And then, of course, the ride down towards the bottom. There were so many wonderful ideas and gimmicks behind it that I think brought a likeness to it overall compared to Kanto for me anyway, because I mean this series also introduced a lot of wonderful elements that carries over into future generations. Let's talk about Charizard was critically disliked for the original series. While yes, he was very disobedient and had some funny moments, it did get stale after a certain time point, but OS fixes that issue by giving him one of the most influential episodes of that generation, with the fight against Poliwrath. Or say, what about the other episode in particular when like Lapras had to go now, the farewell episode. Snorlax, another iconic Pokemon, he came from this generation and ended up being one of Ash's powerhouses throughout the series moving forward as well. There were so many wonderful key elements from Orange Islands that I attach myself to because it perfectly balances both the Pokemon battling aspects that I criticized about in the last series, but also manages to kind of squeeze in just enough of the elements of slice of life as well as things that you can't do in the Pokemon games by bringing it into the television series in Orange Islands. I love the whole pink gimmick. Remember when they went to that pink island and all the Pokemon were suddenly pink out of nowhere? That was something they could do. It was only something they could do there,
Yeah, the Crystal Onyx came to mind.
Was Crystal Onyx in that, or was it a Johto?
I thought that was Orange Island.
Sounds like I thought that was Johto.
Yeah, wasn't that when they were in the Whirl Islands or whatever it is?
Yeah,
it might have been. Yeah, okay. I thought that was Orange Island.
I
always associate weird Pokemon colors or weirdness on a Pokemon with the Orange Islands. Like for example, Nurse Joy herself, fucking tan for some reason in the Orange Islands. I guess because islands, but
yeah.
Crystal Onyx was in season 2, so he was Orange Island.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, okay, he's Orange Island.
Okay, so you were right. No, but to
remember that.
Yeah, thanks for.
Again, like I said, I always associate weirdness with Pokemon with the Orange Islands.
Yeah, there are gimmicks behind it, and I think that weirdness is what carries this season for me personally. It ends up actually being my favorite out of the OS series, honestly. Yeah. To me, Orange Islands is my favorite of the original series because of its creativeness that it carries on and for what it established that ends up being the forefront for future generations moving forward, like with Charizard's development or the Lapras story, even Snorlax to an extent. There were a lot of key things that
we
I
get
think
some fucking Tauros development for Christ's sake.
Hell yeah, bro! And then of course,
which I gotta comment. Tauros is the most. Obviously because we didn't watch the episode because it never came to America. Tauros is the most random shit.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I like it because of what they do with him in the Orange Islands, though.
Oh yeah, he participates in the fight that helps win him the champion.
Well, it's Tauros, and then it's Snorlax, and then it's also, this is where Charizard starts listening to Ash.
Yeah.
So if you skip Orange Islands and go right to Johto, you'll be kind of confused if for some reason Charizard listens to Ash.
I'm honestly amazed to this day. Whenever people bring up Ash's Orange Island adventures, people say that it's filler. I'm like, it's not though.
No.
It's video game filler. It's not anime filler though.
No, it is one of the most important seasons. Like for real.
To me, the Orange Islands is when Pokemon, like the OG series, starts to actually develop a structure.
Yeah. 100% agree on that.
Yeah, I would say Orange Islands is a lot more focused and knows exactly what it wants to do, mainly because they didn't have to adhere to anything. They just kind of did what they wanted to do. Most of the characters in Orange Islands is original. Minus, I guess, Lorelei, technically, kind of.
Prima!
Yeah, because she's Lorelei, but she's not Lorelei, but she's Lorelei. But yeah, Orange Islands was allowed the writers to do what they wanted to do. So they handled Orange Islands the way they wanted to handle it, and I think it worked out for even the premise of Ash losing on some BS technicality because Charizard wanted to be a lazy piece of shit and do whatever the hell it wanted, I think ended up working out better for Orange Islands because he was already depressed about the laws, but he recognized, man, I need to get my shit together. And it felt like that's what Orange Islands was, his ability to get his shit together. And he ended up getting some of his best bonds out of that region or area, island.
It also feels like this is the series where battle-wise, just so I can talk back on the battle one, it also feels like Ash's Pokemon actually have a move set now. OG, they could do whatever the fuck Ash just tells them to do at the time, and they would throw out attacks. Pikachu would use fucking Thunder Shock, Thunderbolt, Electric Shock. That's not even a real fucking move. Whatever Ash fucking thinks of, and he tells it to do, Pikachu would just do it. I think the only time a Pokemon legitimately learns a move that we see is fucking Solar Beam for Bulbasaur. Every other Pokemon, they just sort of have a set, and they just do it. Pidgeotto's known for using Whirlwind or Gust, and that's about all it can do. But here, we finally see Pokemon actually have a moveset. Squirtle learns Hydro Pump here. This is it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, Squirtle learns Hydro Pump in this one. Fucking, Pikachu has a base move now. He has Thunderbolt, Thunder, Quick Attack, and Thunder Shock. Yes, Pikachu has 3 fucking electric moves for some reason here. No, he has Agility. Sorry, I lied. He has Thunderbolt, Thunder, Agility, and
wait, does he get Thunder in Orange Islands or does he get it in Johto?
He gets it here. He uses it in Orange Islands. He uses it on Dragonite.
Oh, at the end of the
very end, the butt.
Okay, that's why. Because I always associate Thunder with Johto.
No, yeah, he gets Thunder at the butt end, at that Dragonite fight. Because what he does is that Pikachu grabs onto the antennas, uses Thunder, then they just sort of lock eyes, and then Dragonite falls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Pikachu learned his speed moves at Lieutenant Surge, which was Quick Attack and Agility. But Pikachu could use whatever fucking move Ash needed him to use at the time. But yeah, in Orange Islands, say what you guys want about, Ash's fight against, what's his name, Drake isn't canon. To me, it's the best fight OG's got. That fight... I would say 6v6 fight.
I would say pre-Johto. Yeah.
Oh yeah, pre-Johto. Well, yeah. Sorry, I'm talking still in this era.
Oh, in the era of Kanto, yeah.
Yeah. It's a 6v6 fight. Every Pokemon does something. It never feels like anything's wasted. There are some Pokemon on Drake's end that wind up getting one-shotted, but I think they did that because Dragonite's supposed to be the one that's knocking out the major Mon. Dragonite knocks out 4 fucking Mons of Ash's team. And then Pikachu and Charizard have to sort of clean up most of the work.
But I love that, though. It felt like a team effort at that point, you know?
It was.
Yeah, that was... I think that's the the key thing about this series I love so much. It finally taught Ash to unite his team up and have them work together.
It taught Ash that he needs to know how to fucking fight. By the way,
He
That's what
became
I'm
a
saying.
battler.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is where he gets his shit together. That's the whole premise
Yeah.
of Orange Islands.
Yeah,
He
because
gets-
in all accounts, in most Pokemon battles, if you especially watch the beginning, Ash fucking sucks. Like, he's bad. He's holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, his fight with AJ is embarrassing.
But you see that progression. That's my favorite thing. Orange Islands was Ash's moment to realize what it really means to be a trainer. And he got it. He got it all the way till the very end.
And Pokemon themselves actually get episodes. Like, Pidgeotto leaves around Orange Islands at the start. But he gets a development episode, turning into Pidgeot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was in Kansas.
No, that was in Kansas.
But yeah, but it transitioned. They even changed the opening around that time, too.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's not in the Orange Islands, I think was the point.
Yeah. He's just like that. That's the step in the direction he's going to take at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As he's going to grow, so is his Pokemon. And if they need to go do what they need to do, let them go do what they need to do. Although we would never see Pidgeotto again, so, you know.
Yeah.
He really took that to heart. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm like, damn, man, bro, you could have came back and said hi. No!
Now, this also leads to a bunch of people getting mad because I would say this is more the community's fault, not the series. Ash released a sizable amount of Pokemon in both these series. But he did that because he was trying to basically make the Pokemon happy. Unfortunately, we get a lot of people backlashing him for this.
Yeah, we go through the list. It's Pidgeot, Primate, Butterfree.
And we said Lapras already, did we?
Did he actually catch
I
Lapras?
talked about Lapras.
That was
He caught Lapras. Yeah, he caught it. He used it in battle. He caught it because it's got a Gengar.
Because the argument kept going in and out with Lapras. Like people were like,
he caught it.
And then what else? Is that it? Just 4?
Yeah, those are the four. I think what it is that people just noticed it with those 4. Haunter doesn't count. Haunter, he borrowed Haunter. He didn't catch it.
Also, to be fair, it gets worse in Johto, unfortunately. As far as him releasing Mons and shit.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but at least with those releases, they come back.
We didn't know that at the time.
Charizard and Squirtle come back. Yeah, but at the time, yeah, it looks like he just sort of released them.
Yeah, like it's kind of offensive when you realize his OG squad, who are fucking like he got him to the point where they're worth a damn, and then he was like, bye.
Yeah, bye.
But we got to talk about the negatives, and I don't know about you. And I hate to put him. Can
we just say Tracey and move on? I'm just kidding.
I hate to do that because that's exactly what I'm about to do.
I feel like Tracey gets way too much hate, honestly. But
Tracey's not bad, but he's not incredibly good either.
Tracey's not bad. I think he's just in a bad position.
He's in a bad position, and the plot line revolving around Brock leaving is one of the worst things in the fucking series. I hate.
Hey, Trail, the girls weren't competent enough to clean the house, so Brock's got to do it.
I hate. The show did not know. They knew they needed someone who was.
They lost Brock because they can't clean their house.
I see now. Listen, I understand what the writers are doing. Brock is too fucking capable, and in some ways, baby's Ash and Misty. And I think the writers were like, we need a character who's like him, but not too much like him. And we were like, well, just develop Brock. And they were like, new fucking character. And we were like, where's Brock gonna go? And they were like, I don't fucking know. So, whamming. And you were just like, oh, hi, I'm Tracey. No, you're not Brock. So, Tracey's biggest issue off the gate was, no, you're not Brock. Then it's like, well, if you get to know him, he's all right. And when you got to know him, all right, I guess he's all right. But here's the problem. Well, there's 2 problems. One, he's not Brock. The second problem is he's kind of boring. He doesn't really stick out in his own right a lot, which is crazy because they gave him one of the more interesting mons in this region, which is his fucking Scyther. His Scyther is cool as fuck. it's like this battle-torn warrior and shit. We're just like, God, I fuck with your Cypher.
Right.
I just wish he did something.
Yeah, could you give that to Ash? Also, the fact that he's like a sketch artist is like one of the most boring pretenses of a job you've ever heard in your life. The other problem with the series is that if you were a person who cared about like the character dynamics, Ash and Misty were still on point, but as Tyrone mentioned before, as time went on, they were slowly getting toned down. And then on top of that, you didn't have the Brock dynamic there anymore because Tracey doesn't really flow as well as Brock does. That's just the reality of the situation. Tracey doesn't flow as well in conversations as Brock does. And so if you compound those two things, the development for the Pokemon's cool, but like in Ash, but Misty really ain't getting any extra development.
Right.
Tracey's not getting any extra development. So unless you care specifically about Ash and Ash alone, Orange Islands is just kind of there. It's not bad, but it's just kind of fucking there, dog. Like, it's not like when you go back, I will say it's aged better than the original series. I think KG was saying something along those lines about how it was better than the original series. But like the original series is still funnier if you watch individual episodes. But I think Orange Island flows better as a story, other than the Brock nonsense that we don't talk about.
Tracey, sadly, too, is like, I mean, somebody said he's a third wheel. I think the problem with Tracey is you're
in a trio. He's a third wheel in a trio. Like, what the fuck?
You're already going into a tightly knitted group of friends that all are in on each other's bad habits and jokes. How do you introduce a new person to that without it feeling awkward? Tracey never even gets moments like that. Like, I think the closest we get to Tracey being like Brock is when he draws Nurse Joy on a piece of paper, and Misty's like, "Who are you drawing, Tracey?" And he's like, "It's no one." Like, I'm sorry, that's never gonna be as funny as Brock like pawning over Officer Jenny, only for Misty to pull his ear and just be like, "Stop, just stop it." And Ash just going, like just doing that. And when Ash and Misty get into fights, Tracey does not know how to really handle it as well as Brock.
No.
Not really. He just sort of lets it go until they stop or the plot comes in. Because he's not Brock. He can't Brock. This requires a Brock
You can't
situation.
Brock.
Yeah, you can't Brock. Unfortunately. So unfortunately we wind up in situations where like even when Tracey tries to tell them not to fight, the fight's still gonna fucking happen. You have no authority here, Tracey. Like a common Ash and Misty situation would be like, so this is the way to Viridian City, huh, Misty? You got us lost again. And Misty would be like, well, we wouldn't be lost if you actually listen to my directions. And Brock would be like, calm down. If we look at the map, we can see that if we go here, then we can get back on the road to Viridian City. Whereas in Tracey, he'll just go, stop fighting, guys. Come on, please. And then suddenly a Pokemon will show up, and that diverts the fucking attention from the whole group.
Tracey doesn't have any presence.
He has no authority behind this.
No, and it's weird because he's still in the same kind of position. He's older. I think he's even the tallest of the three. And he's like, he doesn't command anything.
Oh, hell no. And if anything, like, Ash has to be the one to, like, take charge at that point.
Yeah, he just doesn't fit, and it really hurts him. It's not even that he's a bad character. He's just a bad character for that dynamic. I think ironically enough, Tracey probably works better now than he would have back then.
Yeah. And that's only because he admires Professor Oak, but that chalked it up to him finally getting to work with him. I think there's only one fucking moment about Ash and Tracey I really remember. And it's the one where he catches Scyther and like he is like, I caught Scyther. And Ash is like, you caught a new Pokemon, but you're supposed to show it off like this. And he like shows Tracey how to gloat in front of the camera when he catches a new Pokemon. That's like the only charming moment I can think of between those two. But also, I think Tracey also does that whole exposition thing about explaining what Pokemon do in fights. But he does it with Misty, which is especially weird because Misty's been watching Ash's fights longer. You would think it'd be the other way around, but whatever. Misty's the girl, so...
Kevin, you give your opinions. I gotta go refill my water.
Also, I think this is also the series where Misty gets a little bit more episodes to work with. Even those, though, are kind of jokes.
Yeah, but they do that thing where like they had to incapacitate the boys in order for her to get an episode. Like the episode she catches Poliwag, actually.
They're sick, so she has to be the one.
Yeah.
Or the dumb episode where she thinks Psyduck evolved into Golduck, only to realize that Psyduck was knocked out unconscious in the water, and the Golduck she got is just one that likes to flirt with women.
I hate that episode. I hate it so fucking much.
Honestly, though, I don't know what to add into the conversation, only because of the fact that I feel you guys absolutely nailed almost all the criticisms I had when it comes to the
well, you got to come up with something. I need to get this water.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll figure something out. But I do wholeheartedly agree with you guys. Like, this episode, or not this episode, but this series. The biggest criticism is Tracey. And that's just rude to say, I know, but it's like, he sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's the storytelling. It's like they made a character in the last minute and just didn't know how to incorporate him into the bunch. And it didn't help that you already had 2 established characters now tied to this one character, and normally that never tends to go well. So unfortunately for Tracey, I think he took the most of this series. Whenever anybody criticizes this plot, it's always going to head to Tracey's character in the series. I like his drawings. That's as far as that goes. In his Pokemon.
I think the series never really locks down on it. He's a Pokemon researcher, but I don't even think the series knew what a Pokemon researcher was yet. So, like, when he draws Pokemon, it's like, okay, he draws them. What else does he do?
Hell, even in the movies, they don't know what to do with him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, at least Misty is like telling off the villain, and like she's like interacting with Ash. Tracey's just there. He's just there.
Like, the only thing I remember from Tracey in that movie is like, hey, you talking about me? And then that's it.
Well, that's the line. And honestly, that line can translate to the entire fucking series, sadly enough.
Yeah.
Or at least for Orange Island. Tracey, God, it's sad that he carries most of the cons here, because there are other cons. Like, there's some episodes that sadly, I want to say, just sort of run. Like, at least in Kanto, you could say, like, yeah, this episode was stupid, but it was funny. Some episodes in Orange Island,
that's when the filler phase really truly begins.
Yeah, they are forgettable. Like, it'll be like, Pokemon does a thing, Team Rocket likes the said Pokemon for doing said thing, Team Rocket puts the Pokemon in a net, Ash goes, leave them alone, and they're like, fuck off, then put the Pokemon in the Magikarp boat. Which, I think we get the Magikarp boat around this point. Or the Magikarp submarine, I'm sorry. They escape in the Magikarp submarine. Ash goes, we gotta chase them! And then they do, and the Pokemon does a thing. And then the Magikarp submarine blows the fuck up. And then the net gets free. They free the Pokemon. Pikachu uses Thunderbolt on them. They're blasting off again. Rinse, wash, refucking-peat.
Yeah.
Like, God.
That's pretty much my criticism with the series. But the thing is, though, despite this, I think the reason why I don't really talk about the filler episodes that much is because, well, this saga is short. Yeah, it's compared to a lot of others, this is a really, really short series. But that was only because they needed some time before Johto becomes a plot point.
Yeah.
Wasn't the GS Ball also introduced in this series, too?
I want to say towards the end, yes.
Yeah, towards the end, because Ash needed to find an excuse to get to Johto. So,
well, I believe what happened, the girls tried to like break the GS ball open and it didn't work. So Ash took it, and on his way to doing it, he did the Orange Island stuff, then rounded his way back. Then they give him the ball back, only for him to go to Johto with the ball. Well, no, they give it to Professor Oak, and Professor Oak's like, I can't figure it out, but Kurt will figure it out. Go find Kurt. And then they head to Kurt.
Yeah. And that's when the plot points begins.
So the GS ball is given to Professor Ivy, only to be given back to Ash, only to be given to Professor Oak, only to be given back to Ash, only to go to Kurt, and then never see the light of day.
Yes. But yeah, that's really all the criticisms I have. I don't have much to say about this saga because there is so few episodes. So when the negatives do come in, it feels more like a nitpick at that point than really a criticism about it, because it's a short series, it's a short season. Like there's that's pretty much what it got. But I do believe, though, at the end of the day, despite its short run, when the episodes hit, they hit really good. Like the Charizard episode, the Snorlax episode, the 6v6 fight. Like there are so many iconic moments from Orange Islands, so influential that it still carries over even till today, which is something that a lot of series cannot tend to say.
Weirdly, and someone brought it up earlier, I like the bobsled episode.
Yeah, that
where
gym
Ash
fight
got
was
it.
great.
Ash got his final. I think that's his fourth. No, was that his fourth seashell badge?
I thought that was his third, because I thought the last fight was with the mother who had
Yeah. Who the tag team battle? The first double battle in Pokemon, actually.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but no, like when he got it's the second. When he got the second badge, I think that was the first time his Pokemon really worked together. Oh, they said it's the third. Yeah, that's the first time his Pokemon really worked together, like as a group.
Yeah.
Because his entire team was necessary to make that bobsled.
But it worked. That's the thing. It worked.
Yeah. One of the badges focused on Ash and Misty's relationship. God damn it.
Yeah. That's when the romance starts kicking in.
Yeah, it's the one where the guy flirts with Misty and Misty's flattered, Ash gets jealous, but then Misty winds up rooting for Ash in the gym battle, and he's like, oh, so she's rooting for him. And then Ash wins the fight, and then he's like, you're a lucky guy, Ash. And he's like, how? And he's like, you'll find out. Like,
they never do, by the way.
They never do.
What the hell did y'all do?
We criticized the series.
We were talking about some of the gym battles, and it was the one with Ash versus Rudy, the one where Misty, with the Ash and Misty shipping.
Oh, that.
Yeah, that fight.
But I think we're coming down to like the last a little bit over 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're headed now. We can close it out with Johto.
Yeah.